had to come back for the big news, man. They win a big portal battle to get AJ Halsey, and LSU is now a playoff or bust type of team now.
Yeah, AJ Halsey is quite a player because here's a guy that, despite playing on one of the worst teams in the Big 12 at 4-8 at Houston, obviously had people take notice, like 75 tackles and 13 passes defense. I think he had 5 picks, and obviously he showed up. And anytime I see a low-rung player from a low-rung team, I should say, make first team all conference, obviously he had to catch some attention. So yeah, this is a guy that's the number one safety in the portal, and LSU made it happen. And he's not the only one. So yeah, LSU is going all in. Brian Kelly's going all in, and yeah, it's a I don't want to call it a make or break season. Brian Kelly's most likely going to be here in 2026 and continue to recruit and build, but it's a huge season.
Yeah, and it's a season where Brian Kelly will not self-suspend himself for game 3 and game 4 of the season conveniently, because I see a few Michigan fans in the chat. I have to troll you after what the two fan bases have been through over the past year. But you're right, Mark. This is obviously a big-time transfer, and on top of all of that, we are getting ready for yet another season opener, where LSU, of course, has lost every single one since the 2019 LSU season. And as fun as Texas and Ohio State is, both of those teams went to a playoff last year. They both won playoff games last year. Obviously, Alabama, Florida State's going to be a fun season opener. But to me, LSU and Clemson is the sexiest one. Because I think Texas and Oklahoma, no matter who wins or loses, they'll have enough juice to still make the college football playoff. I think both those teams will be number 1 and number 2 in the nation, respectively. But, man, I really do think Clemson is a real deal from a neutral perspective. And I think LSU is a team that has one major weakness, Mark, and that is the offensive line. And that is a position that Brian Kelly has always been the strongest alongside tight end. And LSU is replacing all of them outside of the center. So of those 6, 5 of them are being replaced. And of those 5, Mark, they all played a lot of snaps. 4 of them played 800-plus snaps last year. The 5th would have if he didn't get hurt. So this is going to be a brand new O-line, basically, and a new tight end room. So we'll see how it works out.
So with AJ Halsey coming in, we are expected to see a certain standard of LSU defensive back. Obviously, this is an argument for DBU all time and very recently in history, but it's not been the secondary that we expect in recent years. Have they made other changes? Do you see not just Halsey, but there being a return to standard in the DB room?
Man, I hope so. It has been straight peach emoji, straight ass in the secondary. I mean, it's been tough. And when you talk to former players who made DBU what it is today, it frustrates them because obviously there is a lot of history there. Mark, they should be better there. Obviously with Halsey coming in, but it's not just him. They have 2 other high-profile transfers in that secondary, and the other is a top 100 recruit in Jakeem Jackson. So I think those other 2, Tamarcus Cooley, who's coming over from NC State, and Mansour Delane, who is to me still the best of all the transfers. I really do think Delane is that good. He's a top 50 NFL prospect. He would have been drafted this year. The fact that he decided to stay in college and come be a part of DBU tells you everything you need to know. So it's funny because it is Death Valley versus Death Valley in week 1, and it is LSU versus Clemson, a rematch of a national championship game. I know, Mark, you and your audience love college football history and rematches, but honestly, there's going to be so much ACC flavor on LSU's team. It's basically going to be an ACC versus ACC battle. So we'll see how those transfers hold up, and hopefully we get a legendary game.
We got Carter here from litany of channels. He's got the trifecta for you. He's got it covered. He breaks down the film, Power Hour SEC, Power Hour NFL, and of course, the original Power Hour LSU. Is there a guy on this defense who, talking about what LSU typically brings to the table, a guy that's a game wrecker. The Harold Perkins when he was unleashed his first couple years, that kind of guy that we could expect to dominate a game from the edge, or that type of player.
Yeah, stay in the ACC again. Patrick Payton, a transfer coming in from Florida State, who's given LSU issues in their 2 matchups, and obviously he had a bit of a down year. And he's got a lot to prove, Mark. I mean, there are so many in Florida State circles that say he was just a byproduct of playing alongside Brayton Fix and Jared Verse. And, a lot of defensive ends will look good if you're playing next to those 2 all-world NFL rookies. So Patrick Payton's coming in. Hopefully he's motivated, ready to go. He is the best deflector of passes at the line of scrimmage, and that's something that LSU's not really done a whole lot of. And then Jack Pyburn is the other. Both of these are defensive ends. Pyburn, Mark, as you know, college football could be a tough sport if you're at a loaded position. And Pyburn is a transfer coming in where Florida had one of the best defensive end rooms in the country. And Pyburn wanted to go somewhere where he can, spread his wings. He was a really good run defender, and they would take him out a lot on passing downs. He wanted to be more of a 3-down guy. So he comes in from Florida, and Mark, based on what I've heard from people that are at practice every single day, Pyburn has arguably been LSU's best defensive player, period. He's come in, set a standard. He's got 1 year of eligibility to prove that he's NFL material. And I really do think Jack Pyburn's going to be a name. It might not be household All-American Will Anderson type of player. He's a different style of player than Will Anderson, but he's going to be a very good player where you're like, damn, dude, who is number 44 for LSU?